classmates, I'm Danielle Strand. One of the many choices that we, as a combined body of consumers, have that impacts us and the environments we live in is a choice we make when choosing how to travel. To be more specific, the cars we drive. I'm here today to inform you on the revolutions of hybrid vehicles and how we can gain from this collection of technologies. The technologies and use of hybrid vehicles interest me because they offer so many beneficial options that can help not only us as consumers, but offer opportunities to help the world. This is why I would like to inform you on the topic. Hybrid vehicles have evolved greatly since their invention and has revolutionized the methods of powering our means of transportation. From the beginning to the technologies that can make societies more independent, then moving to the future of how these vehicles can be positively impactful to all. Today, I will give you a brief history, information on production, and close out with pros and cons on this subject matter. The references that I use for this presentation include the following: a website on pros and cons of hybrid cars, an article entitled The History of Hybrid Cars, a website about the environment and cars, a website on the earth itself, an article in a magazine, an automobile magazine entitled A History of Hybrid Vehicles, and finally, the 100-year history of the hybrid car. First, I'd like to begin with the origins of the hybrid vehicle and why this idea came about. The first hybrid vehicle dates back to the early 20th century. The primary reason for the hybrid vehicle project was due to the much foul-smelling emissions produced from the original internal combustion engine. Jacob Lohner, a Viennese coach builder, believed that gas-driven cars were too noisy and put off bad smells. Partnership with Ferdinand Porsche, who had invented the wheel hub motor, a battery-operated motor that fit inside the hubs of wheels, resulted in the later Lohner Porsche electromobile. Here I have a picture of the electromobile. Y'all can pass it around. Look closely at the wheels on the vehicle. Very different from what we see today. The Paris Exposition of 1900 was when they revealed their concept. A few years following, even though this was the first hybrid, it was not successful, and the hybrid faded until the early 1990s. Since the failed Lohner Porsche car, many companies have tried to produce a hybrid vehicle that could actually last and go into full production. In 1999, Japan produces the Prius by the Toyota company and manufactures it throughout Japan. Toyota Prius is soon followed by the Honda Insight, and the start of that we see today include the Toyota Highlander, the Lexus CT, Honda Accord, Toyota Camry, Toyota Corolla, Toyota Avalon, Kia Soul, and the Honda Fit. The list goes on. These vehicles included both battery and plug-in power engines in combination with a combustion engine. Not to be confused, there are two major distinctions of the gas-electric hybrid: the series hybrid and the parallel hybrid. The parallel hybrid is set up with a gasoline engine and an electric motor that work concurrently to move the vehicle. Pros and cons of the hybrid vehicle. Technologies put into making of hybrid cars have granted them to be quite efficient. The list of benefits of hybrid cars goes on and on. Just taking a moment to name a few. The hybrid vehicle carries a smaller and more efficient engine. Regenerative braking, which is a setting that has the electric motor acting as a generator, which charges the battery while slowing down the car. Periodic engine shutoff. When stopped in traffic, the engine will shut off temporarily to then start back up when the car is placed back in gear. A con, with the hybrid engine, there still comes a need for gas and other electricity. Oftentimes, we're forced to smell the smells it put out and the toxins that it lets out in the atmosphere. All right now, I just want to briefly pause and see if anyone has any questions regarding the subject.
Yes. How many of the first hybrid vehicles were sold before the idea faded into history?
That's a good question. About 300 of the electromobiles were sold.
Okay, thank you.
Do I have any more questions? All right. All in all, after going through the history, different productions and pros and cons, it's easy to see that the concept and manufacturing of the hybrid vehicle has flourished greatly since its almost failing start with the loaner Porsche vehicle. They have greatly impacted the economy and proved that their use will last for many years. Cadet Smith, you asked an interesting question. During that question, you mentioned that the hybrid idea faded into history. Not that it was not a great collaborative effort on loaner and Porsche's part, but because of their failure to keep the batteries charged, the production didn't quite flourish as planned. However, as you can see, hybrid vehicles since have become one of the greatest and most efficient inventions to man. Thank you.